Hello, everyone. My name is Maddie, and you're listening to the No Nerds Will Harm podcast. This is a podcast about movies, shows, comic books, and all things nerdy. This is episode 3.5. Calling it 3.5. This is going to be a mini-sode, and there is no Jack here. Jack is not in this episode. It was a last-minute thing that I wanted to do. It's the middle of the week, and it's a work day for us, or a work day tomorrow for us, so he's not going to make it to this episode. He will be in the next episode, though. I do have somebody with me, someone that everybody knows. If you listen to the last episode, we talked for 2 hours and 34 minutes. I got Mr. Tyler Burke here with me. What's up, Tyler?
Hello, thank you for having me back.
No problem, dude. Fucking everybody loves you. I couldn't not have you back. But, this episode, we're talking about something that dropped today.
Yes.
This is a big deal. This is a huge deal.
So. I think it is. It is not only is a big deal of just what the content is, but it was just a big deal, I think, of how they approached it. I think it's something that we don't see every day in kind of film and marketing, so to say. So this was cool.
Yeah. I want to hit nerd news real fast, and this is going to go into that. So nerd news, Tyler has kept me in the fucking loop. You know, during the day at work when they're releasing new shit, he might get I don't know if you get notifications on everything right away.
It's Twitter usually. I see someone go, post one thing, and then I go look it up because I don't want it to get ruined for me. So as soon as like someone starts tweeting something, and I think today it was actually like Matt Reeves put out like radaalada.com and just tweeted that, and then when you see that, it's like, okay, something's going on.
So that's how you found out about our first piece of nerd news, which is the Joker or the Riddler.
Yes, that was from Matt Reeves too.
Riddler Year One. Matt Reeves posted this, and it kind of looked like the cover for the first issue, maybe.
Yeah, or like I don't know, or a graphic novel cover or something. Yeah. I don't know. It definitely is the same style as the Batman and.
Yes, this piece of nerd news is that Matt Reeves posted on Twitter that there is going to be a Riddler comic book. It's going to be called Riddler Year One. And that was the first piece of information. And then somebody had asked him, I believe, who wrote this. And he was like, Paul Dano.
Paul Dano.
And I was like, fuck, this is awesome.
That's awesome. Anytime, especially from an actor standpoint, if they're going to give him the reins of like deep dive into your character and kind of thing, like, I can only imagine what he's got cooped up on his own about who he thinks the Riddler is.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially considering, like, when we had said who our favorite villain was out of the entire thing, mine was the Riddler. I loved Paul Dano's fucking vision of the Riddler. I mean, it's Matt Reeves' vision, but it's Paul Dano's fucking...
My thing with that is it probably is a lot of Matt Reeves' vision, but Paul Dano had to have a significant impact or say in the character of Riddler if they're now having him write this comic book. Unless this is something that he personally has really wanted to do for a long time, and like now DC or Dark Horse or whoever's putting it out has been like, okay, we'll let you do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Paul Dano doesn't really strike me as like, I feel like he kind of only does things that he wants to really do. You don't see him in random movies and things like that. So
no.
I have a feeling that they gave him an opportunity or they saw what he did with the Riddler on his own and kind of want to deep dive into his mind a little bit, and I'm all for it.
They did say did he release how many issues there was going to be?
I want to say they did say
6.
That's what number comes to my head too.
Okay.
So let's just go with 6.
Yeah, fuck us for not knowing this
yeah,
right when we came here, but I think it is 6 issues, and the first issue is going to be released in October this year, October 2022, which is exciting. And the hardest part for me about this is because I do collect comics, is do I collect the single issues when they come out and get the story right away, or do I wait? If it's going to be a monthly issue, I'm going to have to wait 6 months, 7 months to get the book. And it's like, what do I do? What do I do?
I usually am behind the gate because I don't read a lot of single comics or when they first come out. So I usually wait for the graphic novels anyways. But like with me being like here for the release and opportunity, like it's hard not to go pick up like the single books.
And they're going to have I feel like they're going to have badass variant covers and shit. So
Yep.
But I'm excited for this. That was great news that you text me.
Yeah, no, that got me going as far as like they're not done with this.
No.
You know, and yeah, they have sequel. Everyone knows a sequel's probably going to be coming and all that and how the movie industry works and the trilogy or whatever, but like they're taking this like way farther than just making movies and toys.
Yes.
And that's what I love because I really did like this Batman.
All the marketing.
Yeah.
Which is what leads us into our next piece of nerd news is this Rata Alata. So at the end, or after the credits of the Batman, there is... No, I didn't stay because I did the first Googled time. I Googled it and I was like, this doesn't sound interesting. I'm like, it's not even really a scene. So I didn't stay, but you stayed for it. What is it actually?
It literally was just, I want to say... Now I'm getting the website and the scene confused because
it kind of looks like a website.
Just a website.
Right?
It's just like the blinking green dot, and then I think it's just the question mark pops up and the scene ends.
Does it say Rata Alata at the bottom or anything like that?
It might. Okay. It might say Rata Alata. Okay. I can't remember. That was another Twitter thing. How I first found out that was like a real thing because I remember sitting in the theater going, "Oh, I wonder if this is a real website." Because I don't know if you remember. You remember The Dark Knight kind of did this. The Dark Knight had a website come out.
Yes.
You remember? And it wasn't very interactive or anything, but it took a while for it to like actually load the image, and then when the image was finally up, it was one of the Joker posters.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was a big like teaser, and it had a date on it, and that was kind of like a release type thing.
I do remember that. That was badass.
That was really cool, different, but it's nothing to the extent of what Rata Alata is. Like Rata Alata's scary
because you did the first I don't know how many different things they've already done so far, but the big thing you did.
Yeah, I went on right after I got out of the midnight showing. I went on a Rata Alata, and it was at like all that it did was it was showing an upload sign, and it was at like 2%. Over the next 2 weeks, it gained percentage until it got to 100. Once it got to 100, that night at like midnight, I happened to be I thought about it, and I was like, I'll go check what the percentage is at because we were getting close, and I was convinced, all right, we're gonna get like a date of like the sequel comes at this time.
Yeah.
And I logged in at when it was 100%, and there was a link, and it was like click me or whatever, and I clicked it, and then I got sent a zip file automatically, which in this day age is terrifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck it, we're gonna open it. You know,
my phone will get a virus.
It was labeled "Know What I Know," and when you opened it, it was a 30-page document of all of the Riddler's evidence.
How many gigs did you say it was?
It was it was a couple gigs.
It was like 7 or 9 or something.
Yeah, it was a full blown like 30-page document of high resolution images of all the Wayne's mom is a psycho and all that stuff that kind of the Riddler had on his apartment and stuff.
Yeah, all the evidence
and clues and stuff. All of that was there, and then they had just pages of his journal, which was all written in that code and like scribbled over and all this crazy shit. The next day I went on because I was telling all these people about it, and I was like, "Oh, do it." So I went to go do it again, and the zip file was gone.
Yeah, that was the day that we recorded the episode.
Correct.
You said, "Oh, look it up. You got to look it up."
Zip file was gone.
It was completely different,
and that was just kind of like whoa. And all that was there was a red image with a bunch of the Riddler's code.
Okay.
And the code is, and I screenshotted this, the code transcribed, because there's better nerds than us out there who sit down and actually figure out how to decode this. It is, it said, "You think I'm finished, but perhaps you don't know the full truth. Every ending is a new beginning. Something is coming."
So maybe that's a hint towards there's going to be a comic.
Maybe, or it's a hint of the next thing that happened.
Yes.
Because that was the last, after this came, I was like, okay, they're not going to do a little bit for a while. And then that was probably about 2 weeks ago or so.
Yes.
And then today is when Matt Reeves tweeted Rata Alata, and I logged in for some of the best marketing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yes. This is our topic of today, and it is that when you logged into the Rata Alata, it had 3 riddles that you had to solve.
Correct.
And once you got these 3 riddles, it gave you a prize. And this prize was a deleted scene. And this deleted scene wasn't a minor deleted scene. This was the Joker. He wasn't the unnamed Arkham prisoner. This was the Joker.
And what was cool was the riddles leading up to this were all
They did hint it.
Joker
Punchline,
related. Punchline, ha, and
then
Joker.
Joker, yeah.
And so, like, that was... And by the way, my buddy tried to Google it because he got stuck on one of the riddles. So he went and Googled it.
Yeah.
And he came back to the app. The app told... Or when he came back to Rata Alada, it said, stop cheating.
Yes. Mine. I had to do that for every single one of them. And I was like, God damn it. I thought it was going to kick me out and it wasn't going to let me do it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not smart. I can't do this.
I mean, the fact that we got a legit 5-minute scene.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't a teaser. This wasn't something that is like, oh, when Marvel releases a crazy fight scene and they're all not done up in the CGI and, like, you know, it's just like temporary art or like insert type shots. Like, this was a full-blown Joker Batman sit down scene.
Yes.
Like, people want to talk about the Riddler interrogation scene. Like, this was the interrogation scene of the Batman movie.
It was exciting.
It was awesome.
So for people who haven't seen it yet, what happens in the scene is that Batman goes to Arkham prison. He's waiting to see an inmate. He's waiting behind the glass on the other side. And when you see who it is the back of Joker's head. And it is scarred and it is acid, like,
missing
fucked up.
hair.
He's missing hair. He looks like an old Trolls doll, just like hair coming randomly.
He's gross. He looks gross.
And so he's there because he wants Joker's opinion and he wants Joker's
almost
foresight. He wants his
insight
help.
And help.
He's like, opinion. Hey, I got this guy, this new serial killer, and I want to know it. I want your advice. Well, how do I catch this guy? And there's a lot of things that they talk, or not a lot really, but there's a few things that they talk about which give hints that there's characters, and it's amazing, and it just ends with Batman walking out, not being satisfied with what he got, and that's the scene.
Correct.
But there's so much to this scene that we could talk about right now.
There is, because starting with just, it feels like they're friends who knew each other for a long time, and that something ended very badly.
I do have that as one of my things. Like, do you think that they were, like, do you think they know who each other are?
No.
No?
No.
Because I feel like there's a part of me that thought, I think Batman might know. I think Bruce might know who he is.
Correct. Actually, I take that back, because I do think, like, this is a total... I was talking to Jordan about this. This is a total Joker. I think that, like, Batman is the reason that dude fell into acid.
Yes.
Like, either he pushed him or he slipped out of his grasp. Like the Joker looks and is the way he is directly because of like, Batman.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is just a random agent of chaos showed up to Gotham one day. Like,
yes.
And the way Batman just looked so unpleased to be having to talk to this guy, and the way Joker was like, this is Christmas, you know, like, Batman's visiting me. And, like, a lot of people were scared about Barry and the Joker. And this goes back to what I said in the other episode, where this kind of proves that, like, as long as you know the material and, you know, you have the acting chops to back it up and the creativity, you can give fresh looks to the Joker and play him in different ways until the end of time. Like, this was, again, a completely different kind of look into the Joker, and the way he talked and acted was very weird. He had, like, some kind of weird, not lisp, but kind of like talking like
he was missing his fucking
that's
lips.
The thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, his lips and his teeth are all jacked, so he has this weird speech impediment, like he's been punched in the face a million times, and, like, it just is, like, it's mind-blowing to be like, okay, at the same time it felt so Joker.
Yes.
What he was saying, the way he was inflecting on things, it felt Joker to me.
It almost seemed like he wasn't fully healed as well. Like, when you look at his lips, you're like, is this still fresh? How long has he actually been in Arkham?
That's the thing. So that's what's interesting, is the only timetable we really have is the first line Joker says, which is classic Joker line, when Batman slides him the Riddler file. He says, the first anniversary, it's paper.
Yeah.
And so you have to know, if we're year 2 in Batman, that means year 1, the big Joker had to have been year 1, his first big, like, catch. And the fact that he's going to Arkham to sit down with his first nemesis to try to get another view at things is so Batman.
It is.
Like, and if you just watch the movies, you don't know that because it doesn't happen very much other than
No.
like Bale when he's like, where is she, you know? But in the comic books, Joker spends a lot of time in prison.
He does.
It's his fun house. He is most comfortable when he's back in Arkham because he kind of runs that fucking place and he knows every ins and outs about it. And Batman has to go and sit down with the Clown Prince of Crime to get some answers because there are things that Joker will tell Batman because he knows the villains better than anyone.
Yes.
And that's what's great about the Jokers. He knows Batman better than he knows Batman. He knows the villains better than they know themselves. And no one knows what the fuck the Joker's going to do next.
Because he's such a wild card. And
so that's the thing is he's actually always holding the cards. So in the comics, Batman has to work with Joker a lot to figure this out. And Joker likes to amuse him and help him because it's all part of the game. It's all fun. It all leads to the bigger picture and bigger purpose, which is a lot of what he was talking like the Riddler was doing to him.
Yeah.
Which I found funny. It's like he's just your typical Joker psychology of like, you tell me what's bothering you and I'm going to flip all of this and turn it into it's your problem.
Yes.
And it's like, and that's what he did. And it's all funny to him. And Batman's just so mad at the end of it. It's like, oh.
He is. And in a way, this scene makes that scene where he's introduced to the Riddler in prison so much better.
Oh,
because you're like, these are these stepping stones of the Joker. Like you had said, like he knows these villains better than a lot of people know these villains, or better than the villains know themselves. Mm-hmm. He's watching them and he's taking notes and learning about their flaws and their pros and he's introduced to the Riddler and he's kind of, you could see him, like, you don't see him very well, but you know he's taking notes. He's like, okay, this is the Riddler's weak point, and I'm learning it, and I'm going to use it to my advantage, but I'm also going to use it to his disadvantage later on in these movies or in the show. Because like you had said, we could see Joker done so many times, and as long as they know the material, it could still be good, and it can. There's still just something that deters me from wanting to see it in a movie. Or if he is going to be in the movie, make him in the third one. Don't make him right away.
I agree.
I want to see this Joker grow.
I don't want to get really like Joker running loose on Gotham. I have no issue with Joker showing up in the second and third movie as the dude in Arkham that Batman just has to go and talk to.
Yeah.
And then maybe in the third movie he's like breaks out or something. You know what I mean? But like I have no problem of him showing up in number 2 if he's going to be still in Arkham and it's the same kind of thing of like, well, we meet again. You need my help again. It's like that's what I love about their relationship. And so I think they set it up beautifully where it can be that where I don't think Matt Reeves is relying on Joker at all. And that's the thing is there's a lot of franchises in Batman that they feel like you got to rely on Joker because that's your heavy hitter villain. Yes. And I think the fact he released this and how he did and everything, like, it's not like they got killed at the box office and now he's trying to save face and release footage and stuff like they didn't need to do this at all.
No.
And they just knew they were sitting on a fucking fire scene that just extends their universe. Now, we should mention that I totally understand why this isn't in the movie. It's a 3-hour movie. It's a crazy awesome scene if you're very familiar with Batman. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with Batman, I could definitely see you being like, what the fuck is it? Like, I guess you get that that's the Joker.
It kind of takes away. I'm trying to figure out where this was placed in the movie as well. And
that's what I'm saying. It would be kind of very sudden, like, oh, he's in Arkham talking to Joker now. And then he's gone and back into the movie we've already seen, which it doesn't really fit any, you know what I mean?
Because the Joker does mention that the mayor's dead and the district attorney is dead, which means that it does take place towards the middle of the movie.
Correct.
And he says, you could be next. And that's if he knows... That's if he knows that Bruce is Batman, or Batman is Bruce. So he could say, you could be next, or he could have that insinuation of...
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't...
Wayne, which I don't think he does.
I don't think the Joker knows. I still stand by, I think the Riddler knows. But I don't think the Joker knows because, again, you can tell even in this scene, it's not about that. No. He's the only character that he doesn't care who the Batman is as far as who his identity is. It's much more...
Which would make it
funny is.
Which would make it interesting later on if, like I had said, I think that Batman does know who this Joker is. He does know his origin. But if they were friends or maybe they trained
could
together,
be.
it would be interesting that this Joker does know Batman, but with the relationship that we know of Batman and Joker,
Yeah.
this Joker is just, I'm on the honor system, man. I'm not going to tell anybody because this is too much fun, like the Joker usually says. It could be cool.
Yep.
This is something that I was very anti-Joker in our episode.
Yeah.
And my dick was hard watching this scene.
It's hard not to be
It
because
is
it's
so
a great
fucking
scene.
good.
It's a great
It
scene.
is.
It's like I said, it's not just like Joker fan service or Batman doing something cool. Like it's a great scene. And what they talk about is very psychological and philosophical and it's really a deep dive into both of them, and he makes Batman question himself, which is what Joker's best at doing, is making Batman think like, maybe I'm not the savior or the Cape Crusader.
Yeah.
Maybe I am no better than any of these people, and that's what the Joker does. He puts you in a blender, and he uses you how he wants you.
The end, when he's walking out, when he's like, "You think that they deserved it," it's like,
Or when he's like, are you just mad at the Riddler because you think that he makes you look soft? Because he's actually serving justice and doing these crazy killings that's sending such a way bigger, scarier message. And it's like shit like that. The Joker knows the answer to these questions.
Yeah.
But he has to pose them out loud because now he's chipping away at Batman.
Yep.
Every little thing is
it's so cool.
And he's just looking at him, and then Batman, it's not about me. I don't want to talk about me. And he's like, you're so much fun.
It's so weird. It's so weird to have such praise for this scene.
It is.
But still say, nah, it didn't need to be in the movie.
I think
it's
how they
a great
released it
scene.
right here is perfect. It actually is perfect. The fact that they did it through their own website. Now that, as soon as it hit the internet, though, now it's just every media outlet has been, Joker deleted scene. But, like, if you guys look at how Matt Reeves didn't come out here and post the trailer link. Like, no one posted anything. It was literally, everyone just started tweeting Rada Alada. And the idea is go to Rada Alada. And there was 3 riddles, and they're not the easiest riddles.
No, they weren't.
They're
not for me. I'm an idiot though.
But like I said, people Google them, and like they're not the easiest riddles. So like you actually had to, and I didn't want to cheat. I was like, I'm gonna be Batman and figure out these goddamn riddles, you know. And then when you got it, and all I was expecting was a date of the next movie, or
that's what I thought.
Picture of Joker. Because once the second clue was the Joker related, I was like, all right, this is gonna be Joker. But to get a 5-minute scene that's like not even just a fan scene, but like an actual Joker scene, fucking incredible, and something that I never expected to happen, but so happy that they did.
How did you like the look of Joker? Like, was this maybe one of your favorites, or do you think that it was like, this is kind of fucking weird?
Because I think honestly, this kind of looks like our Nightmare Joker a little bit. It's the distorted, over-exaggerated
the wrinkles,
facial
the
features.
Wrinkles in your forehead.
And
I was like,
that was always our idea, was like when he got put in the acid. It's like the Jack Nicholson effect, but Jack Nicholson still looked kind of like Jack Nicholson. But it's like the acid will change you physically. Like you are gonna get fucked up. Now we didn't go as scar heavy as they kind of did, but it's that idea of your entire structure is gonna change a little bit or become deformed. And they took it like this fits perfect in this Batman universe.
Yeah.
Like it's like his teeth are just jacked. His lips are crazy. His fingers and nails and like even his hands.
I did like
he
that.
just
I
has
couldn't tell if that was
scarring
something. I couldn't tell if that was something that was done from the acid, or if that was like the Joker is like, I'm gonna cut my fingerprints off, so that way I never have
and I do
fingerprints.
think it's a mix
cool.
of that, but then there is like thick scarring that's kind of like on the back of his head, like the bubble scarring up his arms. So it's like he has this scarring everywhere, and I love the hair being kind of patchy.
Yes.
And also like green, but
there
not
was
green.
Green. Yeah.
It's one of those things where like, is he dyeing it because he's crazy, or is like the chemicals fuck the hair up a little bit, and it's just, I don't know. I really like the design, man.
It was cool. It kind of reminded me of because there is a Joker in the New 52s.
Okay.
Where he's got like, he basically takes his old face, like a leather face type thing.
Yeah.
And he's
seen that.
he's very scarred underneath. So it kind of reminded me of that type of Batman, which I love the New 52 line. So I really hope that that's where Matt Reeves didn't really say that New 52s were.
No, it's like year one, Long Halloween, and then I can't.
That Ego one.
Yeah, Ego. Yeah.
And
those
he
were
hasn't
his
really,
big 3.
He hasn't really done anything with New 52, but Robert Pattinson said he wants Court of Owls, and that's New 52. So I'm like, fucking go for it, man, because it was a great line.
Yeah, Especially after this scene, like I already had full trust in Matt Reeves, but now like he's taken a character that like Jared Leto fucked up, and he's already, I mean, Joaquin came in and did his thing, and but that you can't really count that because it's right now until they figure out what the hell they're doing with it.
Yeah,
and like so Matt Reeves took a very ballsy move because he also did enough fan service with the Joker he has in his real movie. Just seeing him at the end with Riddler was enough to show the Joker and not show enough of him to give him a lot of outs. And this kind of commits to, like, Barry Joker.
Yeah.
And having Joker, as in the universe, not just unnamed inmate kind of thing. And so it's a ballsy move, and, like, it paid off, I think. Like, I haven't seen anybody who's like really against it.
No.
I've seen some people that don't like his look. They think it's too gross or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, dude, if you go see the Batman and you see how that universe is, like, how do you think someone that falls into acid is gonna look? Like, we know he's coming out looking like, if we get a Two-Face in this universe, he's gonna be gross too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This gives me very, very high hopes.
Did you like Barry Keoghan? I think it's Keoghan.
I've heard it. He's Irish, so I don't know. I liked him.
I thought he was cool too.
Because in the Batman movie,
have you gotten to watch Eternals yet?
I haven't, so I don't know. And I do know a lot of people say that they like him.
He's great in it. Yeah, he's awesome. He's got the dark element that he does for Joker. So, and he looks that way as well.
I like I really like the choices he made, and like I said, it feels like a fresh take on a Joker, and I think it's really in his speech pattern and that like weird kind of lisp thing. I don't want to call it a lisp because it's not.
No,
it's just
it's
talking
not.
Weird.
It's
he kind of
deformity,
kind of like this, guys. Like he's weird.
Yeah,
and it just works. It
does.
Works for me.
It does.
Like it's like this Joker felt like one of the most crazy Jokers to me, like because he wasn't like making jokes or like trying to be punchliney Joker. He was just like laughing at like real random things that were amusing him.
Yeah,
like pictures and stuff. Like he's like, the violence is just, and it would get him laughing, and it's like, that's creepy and scary versus the Joker like doing a gag and then laughing. It's like, this is a guy who's literally just like kind of like in his own mind, and I'm ready for that guy to be the guy in the chair Joker, like giving Batman like options and questions to kind of think over. So I don't know, man. I'd be more than happy if he just shows up in the show now.
Yes,
like put him in Arkham now.
I hope
I'm fine with that.
Like you had said, or like we had talked about, that he's gonna learn all these different villains, and this is a good opportunity. This show, and that's what I want to see him in. I would love to see him in that first. Well, since we don't have the okay since they don't have the okay for the sequel yet, and we do have, I don't know if they have okayed the show yet.
Who knows? Who really knows what they have?
The show would be fantastic to make it a different. I mean, it might seem forced in a way, but give me a new villain every episode
or something. Yeah,
with knowing that the Joker is in Arkham and we're putting these villains into Arkham as well. Like, you're making that rogues gallery.
I mean, what's nice too is like, and like, no offense to Barry, like he's obviously a very established actor, but it's not like they're hiring Clooney to shoot. You know what I mean? So like, you could afford, to shoot Barry for a season of TV.
Yes.
As Joker. It's not like getting
8 episodes,
crazy actor. Like, he's fairly new. I mean, Eternals is what kind of really put him on the next level. So like, I mean, it's all doable. It's all doable, and it's pretty exciting being like someone who's usually scared of all this spin-off shit.
Yeah.
And just like, this is gonna ruin everything.
For
I'm
sure.
like, this is gonna just intensify and make everything better if it all comes out looking like that. If it all comes out looking like that and the vision is there, like the Penguin's gonna be badass. Like, we're just gonna get a bunch of seedy mobster type dudes. Like, I don't know.
It
man.
gives you hope for DC, or at least it gives you hope for the Batman universe.
I was gonna say, it's not
DC.
even DC. It's just that like, it gives me hope of like, okay, someone at least understands what I like about DC, and that like, this shit is stuff like, you can't really do this in a lot of Marvel things. Like, it's just not a lot of Marvel stuff gets as dark as like Batman. And
Yeah.
they don't even want to kind of go there and give it that different lens where people are always trying to do that with Batman. So, like, I don't know, man. This is just so up my alley, and being like awesome. A Joker nut. Like, I'm just so happy to have right now, like, the 2 last Jokers I've seen, I've been happy with. You know, I may not like I have problems with the Joker movie, but overall, like, I was happy with Joaquin's Joker character and what the Joker was.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. I'm like, yeah, give me that guy. I'm cool. Like, because I used to be like, damn, I really just want Joaquin, or I don't want a Joker at all in this Batman. But now I'm like, Joaquin, do your own thing, bud, because I'm fine. Like, this is something new, and like
Matt Reeves got it. Don't worry.
This is completely fresh, and if they keep him in jail, we've never seen that on screen. Like, as just the guy that's giving advice kind of Joker, and just being like playing all sides from the cell. Awesome.
The world needs that. The world doesn't need to see the Joker as the Joker's been in all the movies, because that's most of the world's reference. And seeing him in this,
and they don't understand what the Joker actually is about. Yeah. And that's the thing and I love Heath Ledger Joker. We said that he's my favorite Joker, but like, he is a real off-brand interpretation of the Joker. He's taking one element of the Joker, which is like that chaos element, and they were like, we're gonna build a whole character on like, this is your thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Joker has so many different little elements that make him, and that's what you lose when people only know like Heath Ledger Joker, and then you go into Jared Leto Joker, which is literally someone that was like, okay, we want to give a new look to this, and then just play him like you would think like a psycho would act, and there's just no substance to it.
No,
and it just sucked, and his character design was just not very good in my opinion. Like they could have stopped after the 17th like face tattoo. Like, we would have been fine. We don't need smiles and ha-has all over him. But, you know, again, it just shows Matt Reeves knows exactly what the fuck he wants to tell and exactly how he wants to show it.
He does.
And he delivered with a 5-minute bonus scene that no one saw coming out.
No, definitely not.
Because companies don't do that. They don't give you things for free like that. Like, especially if it just causes, like... My mind's still scrambled about this, because it's just...
We love it. We just watched it right before we started this.
This shit doesn't happen anymore, man. And it should, because, like, this is what, like, makes movie magic. You know, you feel, like, in on it. You feel like Batman for half a millisecond when you're trying to figure out a riddle to get the bad guy's information. Yeah. You know what I mean? You get that little immersion, and that's all it takes to make the movie magic sometimes. And
for sure.
I loved it.
That's right. I loved it, too.
Highly recommend it.
Everyone needs to go check it out, because we
and I say,
you don't have to check it out because we loved it, but
go to the website and sit down and figure out your goddamn riddles and then get your prize. Don't just go to YouTube, which you can, but
it is hard to hear. So if you want to go to YouTube later on and check out the closed captions, because we did.
Correct.
It was a lot, because there were a few things we left, but we were like, oh, we didn't catch that before, but it was good this time. But absolutely go check it out. I don't know if you want to hit anything more on this.
No, subject, I mean, that's I mean, like I said, we can dissect this and talk Joker for days, but I think it's such a unique kind of thing to happen, especially as a post-release thing. You see a lot of shit like this happen like right before, to get that buzz, to get those tickets and the asses in the seats and all that. But like, this is clearly just like their marketing plan of like, we're gonna roll this out, and we're gonna do this, and in 2 weeks I guarantee there's gonna be something else too. I don't think we're ever gonna get another deleted scene, but I think Retta Alada is gonna be this consistent thing of rolling out Batman information to us.
Good. It should.
I agree.
It's great. They're doing a good job.
It's really cool.
I look forward to what else they have to fucking offer. And if we don't get anything until October with Riddler Year 1, I'm still cool with that too.
Yeah, no, like I said, they didn't have to do this at all. The fact that they did this is good for them. For sure. That's all I could say. Good for them.
So for our next episode, it is going to be recorded on April 2nd. Jack will be there. Tyler will not, but April 2nd, we're going to be recording our next episode. It is going to be all Spider-Man. We're going to be talking about each Spider-Man movie, each Spider-Man. We will be ranking them. We'll be talking about our favorite suits, our favorite villains, kind of like what we did with the Batman episode. And I believe that's all I have for that portion. Now we can go into our social media. Tyler, you said it last time, but where can everybody find you at?
Instagram, Tyler Burke Actor. That's where you can kind of follow my acting career. And on Twitter and Twitch, I'm Gambit the Goon.
Gambit the Goon.
And that's more of my nerd news and fun kind of stuff. So
I dig it.
Yep.
I started following you on Twitter.
I followed you back.
Because now No Nerds Were Harmed actually has a Twitter now. I made a Twitter. And it's off to a decent start, I think. So I'm trying to build
you're off to a really good start, actually.
Trying to build a fan base on there. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And I like the handle.
The
Twitter handle.
No Nerds.
It's
NNWH pod.
Yeah.
I know they don't let you do too many characters.
No, but it's I actually like it. I think No Nerds Were Harmed is like a good NNWH. That's a good like initials. It just has a ring to it.
I agree. I was gonna do a t-shirt, not a t-shirt, but a design that just said NNWH. So
it's cool.
I'm trying to think of more inappropriate things that I could stand for. NNWH, but maybe.
I mean, do you want it to or you don't? You're trying to avoid.
No, I would love for people to try to
give me a
make
week.
Stupid shit. But yes, we can be found on Twitter now. You can search No Nerds Were Harmed. You could also type in NNWH pod. We are on Facebook, so come on there. I try to be as active as possible, putting up some fun polls. I think yesterday or today I put up who would win in a fight between Ben Affleck or Christian Bale or Robert Pattinson. So
in real life, not as Batman.
Yes, in real life, not as Batman. So I thought that was fun, and I do some cool shit like that. We can be found on YouTube. This episode will be on YouTube, so if you want to see any of our reactions, I'm going to post some videos, or not videos, some pictures of what we're talking about, so that way you can actually see what we're talking about. This should be on YouTube within the next couple days. We could also be listened to on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on SoundCloud. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Give us a review. Give us a star. If you didn't like it, then fuck you. My name is Maddie.
I'm Tyler.
No Nerds Were Harmed in the making of this podcast. Bye.